I just want everyone to know that Duncan said we're recording in three, two, one, and then he started recording, and it was very reminiscent of I got flashbacks from my childhood of watching Freddie on iCarly.
No, don't relate me to Fred.
And you're from Seattle.
If anyone, I'm Sam. Well, I'm probably more of a Spencer. Anyway, welcome
I
back.
think I'm a Spencer.
You are a Spencer.
You know, I'm just funny, zany, and I have a useless degree in art.
Well, on that note, let's talk about movies.
Yes, December was a month, a few months ago.
We're going back in time, talking about December.
I watched, I'll start with the Christmas movie. I watched The Christmas Chronicles, the Netflix movie where Kurt Russell plays Santa Claus.
Oh my God, how was that?
I genuinely enjoyed it. I'm not a fan of like scenes where it just randomly cuts to a music number, and there's one in this, but I thought it worked.
Are you not a fan of movie musicals?
No, I am. I just don't like it when a movie's not a musical and then it tries to like do one number.
So does Santa sing?
Santa sings while he's in prison.
Okay, tell me what this movie's about, because Santa being in prison caught me off guard.
So Santa is he's delivering presents, and these two kids decide they wanna capture Santa.
Oh.
So they see him, and I forget how they somehow sneak onto his sleigh, and they scare Santa, so his sleigh crashes in Chicago, and he loses his hat, which gives him the ability to fly, so he can't deliver the presents until he finds his hat. I don't remember this movie very well, but I really enjoyed it. I don't remember if the hat actually gave him the ability to fly. There was something, his hat did something, they needed to find his hat.
Okay.
Oh, and the sack. They had to find the sack of toys. And the elves in this movie looked kind of creepy, but I kind of dug it. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was sweet. I thought it was fun, and it got me in the holly jolly spirit, Duncan.
Okay. Will this be like a yearly movie for you to revisit?
It's not a Home Alone for me, but I really enjoyed it.
I see. All right. Well, I'll have to check it out in 11 months when it's Christmas again.
All righty. What did you watch?
Oh boy, my turn. I watched The Death of Stalin.
How is that?
This movie is weird.
Can you do me a favor and take your beanie off for half a second?
No.
Please?
I have hat hair.
I saw your hair looks like I haven't seen you in a while, and I saw it was like peeking out the back, and I want to see how long it's gotten.
Well, when I wear the beanie, it gets flat. So
well, then just like throw your hand. Why do you have the beanie half on? Yeah, just like
it's like
it's like yeah. Dang, that's long. You're gonna get that cut soon. You can't really.
I can't. If I go get my hair cut, I'll catch.
It's a good look. You should do a ponytail.
All right.
I could see you like slick it back, grow it out. You'd actually look good.
I appreciate that.
You could cut a hole in your beanie and like feed the ponytail.
Anyway, The Death of Stalin is a very weird movie because, I mean, spoilers, but Stalin dies.
What?
And the whole movie is about his inner cabinet trying to figure out who gets to take his place. So it kind of plays like a really bad episode of Game of Thrones, except nothing cool ever happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a lot of talking about succession, and like, it's a very political movie. I don't know. It wasn't awful, but I don't think I'm ever going to watch it again.
Have you heard of the movie Hustlers?
Yes.
I had to watch it.
What'd you think? The stripper.
I wasn't the demographic for it.
Oh.
I'll say that. I like the concept.
Mm-hmm.
I really did. I don't know that I was the demographic for it, which is fine. You know, not everything's meant for me. I thought it was pretty good for what it was. And I'd be interested to see like a documentary about it.
Yeah.
It's like based off a true story. And I thought it was interesting. So
Is that a Godiva mug?
It's my mother's.
Oh my god.
It's
That
really
was
big, so it holds a lot of water, so I don't have to go refill it.
oh
Look
god.
how big this is. Look next to my face. Look how big this
That
is.
is a big mug.
It's huge. Don't show my face during this. I have I don't want the people to see me, my ugliness.
You're beautiful, Frank.
Thank you.
Anyway,
I watched
what'd you think?
I watched a movie that got a lot of flack on the internet. People
Oh, okay.
said it was kind of. There's two movies actually, but I only talk about one. One that got right now.
Yeah.
One that got flack on the internet. People said it wasn't good, and I thought it was pretty good for what it was.
Uh-huh.
I watched the live action Mulan.
Ooh, yeah.
Um, I enjoyed. Mulan's my favorite animated Disney movie, and
Wow.
I was kind of iffy when I heard it wasn't going to be okay. So, oh my gosh, I got to get into this.
Hmm.
Ever since a young age, I'd say high school,
Oh, this is a monologue.
Frank Vella had the genius idea for a live action Mulan. And I pitched this to 100 people, and everyone says, Frank, you're out of your mind. But I know people would show for it. Okay?
Yeah, of
It's a
course.
musical. They sing.
Of course.
Here's where the fun stuff. Fun stuff starts. It's R-rated. It's bloody action, and it's shot like 300. Okay,
Oh,
you got that, but they're singing while they're doing it. I think that would be phenomenal. I really like this Mulan. It's very over the top, but I feel that's what they were going for. That's the style. I
uh-huh.
just had fun with it, man. I had fun with it. That's all. Okay, stop
That's
judging
pretty.
me, Duncan. Go.
I watched a really shitty, terrible, old black and white, shitty, terrible movie. It's called The Fountainhead. It's a movie about buildings. It's a movie about an architect who's trying to get his building made. So he starts like schmoozing up to this lady who's like married to another architect. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's like a subplot in How I Met Your Mother.
I think it is. But this movie made me hate buildings because it was so boring and tiring. Stay away from this movie. Stay away from Ayn Rand. I don't know.
Yeah.
The mess.
I watched a Pedro Pascal movie called Prospect.
Tell me about
And
that.
this was kind of a new role for Pedro Pascal. He's never had a role like this before. It's a post-apocalyptic world, and he finds this little girl, and he has to act as a father figure towards her.
Oh my god. That's the
Pedro
only
Pascal.
thing he does.
It's really well acted. I thought it was visually it was just nice to look at. It's a small indie film. And I love an indie film that like has the balls to do sci-fi because that stuff's expensive, but they made it work. I recommend it.
Okay. I'll check it out. What's it called again?
I have a movie on here because I feel like we're flying through this. I just want you to know I have a movie on here that I plan on monologuing about.
Perfect.
Because I think I'm the only person on the internet who likes it.
Okay. I watched The Wolf of Wall Street.
I watched half this movie on TV during this month, and I said, this is a good movie. I gotta watch this.
I want to say something good about it. I think it was very smartly made because I think you're supposed to feel like it's a cocaine trip. They want you to
You think
feel like
Scorsese did a lot of drugs back in the day?
well, I think since the main character is like always high, I think the point is that you're supposed to feel like the cocaine rush that all of these stock traders are on. Um, my issue with this movie is that it didn't really feel as much. It tried to be both a cautionary tale.
Are
And
you about to bash our Lord and Savior Martin Scorsese?
no, I think he did what he set out to do. It just wasn't. Well, let me explain my point. Because what this guy Jordan Belfort, what he did was like ethically kind of wrong. It's like he's short selling, right? He's sort of scamming people and getting rich and spending money and cheating on his wife. And the movie is like, hell yeah, like this is awesome. Like look at what he's doing. Wow, look at this guy. He's so cool. And then it'll be like 5 scenes of that. And then there's one scene where it's like, oh no, his marriage is falling apart and he's sad. This isn't the right thing to do. Don't do this, guys. Don't be like him. But then there's another like 7 scenes where it's like, hell yeah, this guy's awesome. So I think the movie kind of like it was trying to play both sides, but to a disproportionate amount, you know?
I like it when movies do that, personally.
That's
I
fair.
actually saw a really cool behind the scenes thing, the scene where he's all drugged up and he's trying to get to his car and he's going down the flight of stairs. Have
Right.
you seen it? How they shot that? Where
I
it's like,
haven't, but in the movie it's really smart.
I think that's cool because I didn't notice that, and I was like,
That's
that's
actually my
pretty neat.
favorite.
I like that Martin Scorsese guy, and I think he's got a bright career ahead of him. I'm also taking his master class.
Oh, well, that explains it. You're in cahoots with him.
I am. I watched an HBO original movie starring a huge jacked man, and the it's Hugh Jackman, and the the movie is called Bad Education.
I've heard about this. I've been wanting to see it for a very long time.
Dude, do you have HBO?
I still don't know.
You don't know? How don't you know? I
I
thought
don't know
you
if
said
my
you didn't know you
family.
had a. I thought you said you didn't have HBO Max, but you have HBO.
Well, we used to have HBO, but I have no idea if we dropped it or not.
Okay, isn't the Game of Thrones prequel coming out? Because that's like your family's thing.
Well, not anymore. That show sucked.
Oh, did it? That last season really put a sour taste in people's mouths.
It'd be like in Star Wars if Darth Vader took off his mask and he was like Greedo the whole time.
So Bad Education, I thought, oh my God. I first of all, this director, and I cannot remember his name, but in 2018, he directed Thoroughbreds, which was my favorite movie of that year.
Yeah.
If you have not seen that movie, I feel like that's the two main characters in that movie are like the two extreme personalities of my life. One's a psychopath, so that might be saying too much, but it's okay. Yeah, so Bad Education, it's a fun movie. It's I like the story behind it. I think Hugh Jackman gave a great performance that's probably going to get snubbed by every freaking award show.
Right.
I thought Allison Janney was incredible. I love this movie. It's not as good as Thoroughbreds to me, but I love this movie.
I watched Soul from Pixar. I really enjoyed this. I thought, well, okay, I'm in the prime age where like this movie is gonna hit a little harder because I'm about to graduate college and figure out what the fuck I'm gonna do with my life. So having a movie sort of have the message of like reassuring people that like you don't need like a set role in life, that was comforting. I thought that message was kind of bold for a movie directed at kids, right?
Mhm.
What did you think?
I really enjoyed it. I just I liked the message. There are some parts I could have done without. I wasn't a huge fan of the cat portion. I don't want to
Yeah,
spoil anything.
yeah, that's fair.
I really enjoyed I mean, like it's Pixar. You know you're gonna get a phenomenal time. You know you're gonna tear up. I will say that sequence at the end where it's just the music and it's
Yeah,
oh, I got shit. I didn't cry, but I got chills and I teared up a little bit.
I think I cried the
Um,
second time. The first time I was like, wow, and then the second time I was like, fuck.
I thought Soul was just incredibly well made. I can't wait to see. I'm excited to see their next movie, The Raya and the Last Dragon. That looks up my alley.
That dragon looks like they just put Princess Elsa's face on
I
it.
like it.
Called it a day.
I like it.
I'm so tired. I don't want to see any face.
Duncan, why do you like this? Why you got to bash people? Put so much hard work, and then you're gonna go and
There was
bash
no
it.
hard work in that. They copy and
No
paste.
hard work. Duncan, do you know how long it takes to run the simulations to get those animations to look the way they do? I watched a movie. You know what? I'm not going to talk about it yet because I'm going to dialogue on it. I watched a film that we've talked about on here before because you've watched it, and I watched it for the first time. I watched the film Ready or Not.
Yeah.
This movie was just so fun and bizarre and over the top, and I love that lady. Do you know that lady with the spiked hair, the old lady in the movie?
I don't know her, no.
You don't remember the lady, the old lady? She's like the
Oh, the
grandmother.
grandma with the
And she's
axe.
got the spiked hair. And yeah,
Yeah.
wouldn't she do like if they're doing like the live action Little Mermaid? Wouldn't she do great as Ursula?
Yeah. I think
She would. I literally could not stop thinking about that.
that
Um,
whole movie
I
is
thought this movie was fun. there's a scene that made I had to hold my hand while I watched it because
You
it
had to
hurt my
hold
hand.
your
Like,
own
oh, if
hand.
something happens to a hand, you know what scene I'm talking about? Oh,
Oh, are you talking about when
when
she's
she's climbing
climbing?
out of the thing.
Oh
Oh,
God, yeah,
dude,
that
I almost threw up.
that movie
I
is
almost threw up
grisly.
watching that scene.
Yeah, and
I
then when
was
she
like,
has
this
to
movie's
squeeze,
like,
when she has to squeeze through the fence, and it's
oh
like
my god, and
breaking
her,
her back.
oh my.
Oh God.
I'll say this movie had fun with its R rating. I'll say that.
Okay, I
It's
do have
such
a
a
question.
simple premise too.
Well, actually, I have a
Yes.
question on that. What did you think about them going supernatural at the end?
I'm usually not a fan of when movies do that, but I thought it actually worked for this movie.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that it works, like it fits, but it could have like been without it and been fine.
Yeah.
Right? If these people were like praying in the sacrifice and then nothing happens and they're like, "Oh shit."
I I love I think the last shot of this movie is like the funniest shot in any movie I've ever seen. It's so the thing with this movie, it's so simple, but it's so effective. And I feel like that last
Absolutely.
shot
I'm
really
surprised this got made. Like, how do you pitch this movie and then
yeah.
have people be like, "Go ahead."
What did you watch, Duncan?
Right. The big family, the Kastner family movie that we always watch is Elf.
My Lord, my Savior, my hero, Jonathan Favreau.
I would say I'm sick to like I'm sick of it because like if you watch anything 16 times,
Yeah.
you're gonna get tired of it. But
Unless it's Star Wars, which I've probably watched over 100 times.
it still blows my mind. Um, I don't know. I think this movie is a really nice thing to revisit every year because it's not trying to do anything overly complicated. It's not trying to give you like a DC or Marvel movie esque like
Yeah.
storyline. It's just like there's a guy, he's an elf, and he wants to find his dad. That's it.
And that's the heart. I feel like then because that's the heart and soul of the movie, I feel like that's why it works so much.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
also
like with a lot of these Christmas movies, they try to get too flashy. They're like, oh, look at like I can't really think of another Christmas movie that like revolves around Santa so heavily that doesn't feature Santa really that much.
yeah.
Santa's barely in the movie.
He's like in 5 minutes in the beginning and then 30 at the end.
Yeah.
And this is also a pretty short movie. I think it's only like 90 minutes.
I don't I think oh my gosh. I think that movie's I remember watching that movie for the first time. Like I just think it's so great. The bits in it have just aged so well. Like
Absolutely.
it's aged so well.
Yeah,
I love it when when he buys his dad lingerie. I think that's the funniest. Like who thought of that? Who thought this should go in a kid's Christmas movie? That's so funny
right for that special someone.
for that special someone.
Oh, yeah, that's I think of all the Christmas movies just to watch every single year, I think Elf is a pretty strong
I
contender.
think Elf is the movie.
Yeah.
I got a controversial one.
Ooh.
I
Is this
think
a
I'm the only
monologue?
person left on the internet who likes this movie.
I think
I don't even think you've seen it, Duncan.
I think I know what it is.
What movie? Yes.
Are you talking about WW84?
I am.
Wow.
I loved this movie.
Okay.
I love that it's set in the 80s. I love that it's basically is an 80s movie and they just fully committed to it. It's like a love letter to like all the 80s superhero movies. It's just so cheesy and oh my gosh, they went for it. Like they just went for it and I thought it worked great. I was emotional when it had to be. I tears rained down my face at the end. Hans Zimmer reused a piece of music he used in a previous DC movie, and it worked like thematically worked so well in this that I just dug this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think again going back to it, a lot of people are upset because there's not a lot of big action sequences.
Sure.
And but again, I thought at the heart of this film, it's about Diana and Steve Trevor and her still trying to get over him.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, there's no reason why movies like are required to give you like a huge action scene like
no,
every
and
every
I what bothers me with modern audiences
Ooh,
is
here we go.
here we go.
Kids these days.
Kids these days, I feel like they ruin the movies for themselves because they set these impossible expectations.
Sure. Yeah.
And like can I talk about WandaVision for half a second? Are you
Yeah.
caught up? Can I spoil, like,
Yeah.
not even really
I'm up to date.
spoil?
I'm up to date. Yeah.
So there was that line that Monica Rambeau or someone said, I have a friend who is an astrophysicist or something. And everyone on the internet was like, this is how they're introducing Richard Reed and the Fantastic Four. This is going to be amazing. It's going to be the best thing ever. And then it didn't turn out that they were doing that. So people said, wow, that episode really sucked. And I'm like, that was actually a really good episode.
Yeah.
I think it sucked because, and it happened, I'm going to say it, with The Last Jedi, with Star Wars all the time, because people want Luke Skywalker to walk in, swing his sword, have him be non-dimensional, because, like, what's he going to do? It just upsets me. I thought this movie was great. People were like, oh, it's so cheesy. Why are they making this so cheesy? It's like, it's an 80s movie. Like, it's supposed to be cheesy. Like, that's what they were going for.
Sure. Yeah.
It just upsets me so much that people like, yeah, because people work so hard on these movies. There's so much thought that goes into them. The fact that Warner Brothers, like a big studio that has this big franchise, allowed this movie to get made the way Patty Jenkins wanted to, I think is just incredible.
Well,
And like,
didn't they fight the whole time?
I don't think so. No, not for this one.
I thought she said she had to like put her foot down and fight to make it how she wanted.
She said the first one she did, and then with this one, they trusted her after it. I think they wanted to cut like the opening sequence, which is great. The opening sequence. I think they wanted to cut it. I would have been mad because that sequence is gorgeous. It's gorgeous, Duncan.
The Women Olympics was gorgeous.
No, it's just like well shot is what I mean. It's great, and it really fits. It's the thematic core of the film, Duncan.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
I adore this movie. I can't wait for it to come out on Blu-ray so I can just pine through the behind the scenes. I'm just really curious.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, Patty Jenkins. First of all, the fact that Patty Jenkins is making a Star Wars movie next, my lord.
Yeah, it'll be great.
I can't wait. I'm excited. That's my rant. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
I know a lot of people were like very quick to condemn this movie, and I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I've seen reviews of it, and
there's that whole narrative about it that happens every time a female-led comic book movie comes out, where they're like, "This movie hates men."
That's very important.
No, it doesn't.
What about this movie did people think was like anti-men?
Oh my god. So I'd have to get into some spoilers to talk about it.
Okay, this is your warning, everyone.
Are you okay? I know you haven't seen it. Are you okay if I spoil it?
I think I'll be okay.
Okay, I have to turn my camera off because my Wi-Fi is freaking out.
All
so
right.
basically, the premise of this movie is that there's this magic rock Pedro Pascal has, and it grants your wishes. Okay?
Right.
It's cheesy, it's over the top, but it's supposed to be like an 80s thing.
Sure.
So, Diana doesn't know what it is when she holds it, and she wishes Steve was back. And so he comes back, but he takes the body of like a strange man, like just a random guy off the street, like morphs into Street Trevor, and it is clearly trying to be an homage and like poke fun at the movie Big with Tom Hanks. Like it's really clear that is what they're trying to do.
Right.
But there's a scene where they got intimate and people started this narrative that Wonder Woman took advantage of a unconscious man, which I'm like, and they're like, imagine if they had done like a woman had done this. And I'm like, they have made that movie. It's called Big. This was clearly an homage to it. Oh my God. It makes me so mad because it's like, this movie is like straight up 80s cheese. And people are going into it like it's supposed to be like a modern day Avengers movie.
Well, I mean, that might have been just an impossible standard that like modern movies have set, right? Like it's kind of hard to dip back into 80s themes when people
I'm
are
not actually
convicted.
like that this upset about it. I'm just screaming for. I know our people love it.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, do they ever talk about that and like Diana being with like a strange man?
So I'd
Like,
have to spoil the movie to get like really spoil it.
okay, that's fine.
So basically, the whole movie is about Diana moving on, and you see the guy that Steve took over before, so you know what his face looks like.
Uh-huh.
So at the end, so there's this scene where Steve is trying to like get into modern clothes, and they're trying to pick out an outfit, and she's suggesting stuff, and he's like, no, no, no. Then he comes out with an outfit that he really likes, and he's he's like, what do you think of this? And she goes, I don't think it's you. I don't think it's for you. And he goes, okay. So then he changes. So then at the end of the movie, we see the guy again. He walks, and it's like this really cute scene where she's wearing the outfit that Steve had picked out. And he's like, they start talking and like kind of they flirt a little bit. And it's supposed to be like, okay, she's accepted Steve. And it's like this really cute moment. And I was like, okay, that like makes sense with the whole theme of the movie is you can't like cheat your way to get stuff you want because you'll lose stuff in the process. It's about dealing with like the whole movie's about dealing with loss and accepting it and just having to move on.
Mhm.
And like that scene cements it that like, okay, she's moved on.
Okay, yeah.
I get really passionate when people bash movies I love. That's like,
I think that's a good quality.
thank you. There's worse things to be passionate about.
Yeah, of course, like drugs. Let's talk about Cheetah.
Okay. I thought Kristen Wiig and Pedro Pascal were fantastic in this movie.
Yeah, from what I've seen, I thought they really put their soul into these characters. But I saw a lot of people saying that Cheetah did not need to be in this movie, and they were just sort of trying to like throw in an iconic villain. What did you think about that?
No, because I think Wonder Woman in this movie was heading down a path where where she could have been like Kristen Wiig's character.
Mhm.
And so the whole thing is bad stuff is happening, and Wonder Woman, Diana is basically denying it because if she accepts it, she would have to give up Steve.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
she's kind of denying that these bad things are happening so she can be with Steve. Um, I'm so sorry, I just got a text and it threw me off. So she's denying these things so she can be with Steve.
Mhm.
And I think she doesn't see the evil in her own actions till she sees the evil in Kristen Wiig's actions and how it's hurting people. And then she realizes I'm kind of being a hypocrite because I'm doing the same thing. So that's when she has to realize is that, you know what happened to Steve happened. She has to give him up because she's losing so much more.
I see.
Um, the actual transformation of Kristen Wiig into, I think the character is necessary. I could see where people say her physically becoming Cheetah didn't 100% need to happen. I think that was to please that crowd of people who only go to see someone get punched in the face. I
Right.
enjoyed the scene. I thought it was fun. I thought this movie was incredibly well directed. Yeah, that's what I got to say.
Cool.
How long was that? Just Wonder Woman rant.
I don't know. It was like a good 10 to 15.
I love this movie.
Yeah, of course. I kind of when I
And you
heard
know what? I can't wait for the Snyder cut.
yeah, that's coming out soon, isn't it?
I know. It's the only reason I still have HBO. The second I watch it, bye.
What are you gonna do if it's like not good?
I don't think it'll be bad. I genuinely don't.
Uh-huh.
Just because he's had such a clear vision between Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, and for this. You know, if it's not for me, it's not for me.
Sure, yeah.
But
Of course.
I usually really like Zack Snyder movies.
I have picked up on that.
Yeah. My whole thing is, I'd rather watch a movie that actually was bold, differentiated itself, and try something new than something generic.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
That's that's my TED talk.
Well, I have.
What did you watch, Duncan? I only have one thing left, but it's two things, but I'm combining it into one.
Okay, this is my last thing. I watched the Netflix special Death to 2020.
I think I saw, like, heard of it. What
Yeah.
was that?
It's a mockumentary that covers basically the world news that happened in 2020. Except it's told through like characters. So like Samuel L. Jackson is in it, and Lisa Kudrow from Friends plays like a Republican senator, and like the Steve Harrington from Stranger Things, he plays like an internet YouTube commentator. Like, so you have all of these like well-known actors and actresses playing characters talking about what happened in 2020. So, right, they start with like World War III, right? The whole like US bombing the shit out of that one guy. And then the Australian wildfires. And then, of course, COVID and everything shutting down. And then
Mhm.
Donald Trump and the rise of the alt right and blah, blah, blah. And let me tell you, this movie was a bummer. I watched this with my family like in December, right? But it was still too soon. Like it was still in the middle of 2020. And watching like a recap that had no like positives in it was, I think, a very sour note to end the year on. So
Yeah.
my theory is that this movie is going to be better to watch in like 5 years, when like you need a refresher on everything that happened in 2020.
Okay.
But in the moment, it was just like, God, shut up! Like I don't want to hear about it. Like I have to. I hear all this shit on the news anyway. I don't need to hear like Hugh Grant and Leslie Jones tell jokes about, oh yeah, the KKK's back. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I could see how that's depressing. I really have nothing to say because I didn't watch it, but
I'd give it a little bit of time before you check it out.
yeah, I think once we're back to normal, going back to watch it would be like a nice little time capsule of depression.
Back to normal.
Um, I watched something I know you watched. I watched season 2 of The Mandalorian.
Let's talk about the Mandalorian then.
Let's talk about Mr. Mandy.
Wow.
I love John Favreau.
Yeah.
I love Dave Filoni,
Uh-huh.
and I love The Mandalorian. I think this show, they nailed it. I want to go through episode by episode. I'm not even kidding, Duncan. I want to do it
Okay. Yeah. let's
right
do it.
now.
Yeah.
I'm doing it right now. Quick though, quick fire, okay?
Sure.
The first episode, the crate dragon.
The sandworm.
I've always wanted to see one in live action. Gorgeous, beautiful. They brought Cobb Vanth from the books in. I freaked out.
I love episode 1.
Timothy Oliphant was phenomenal. I want to see him return. Give the man a spin-off series. Why not? You're giving everyone else one.
We will be
I say
talking
that with
about
love. I'm not saying that as a negative. I say that with love. Lucasfilm, if you're hiring, I'm here. Episode 2, Spider Attack. Fun.
Yeah.
This is definitely like the least eventful one of the season.
Yeah.
Fun as hell. Fun as hell. Episode 3, my girl, my lady, Bo-Katan. She comes in, she kicks ass. Bryce Dallas Howard, you directed the poopy doopy off this episode. I loved it. Episode 4, The Siege. We gotta go. We gotta break into the Empire facility. Those tubes, I swear to you, I know it's Palpatine. I know it is Palpatine. We get a little bit more about what's happening in the main storyline. All right. And you know what? I'm loving it. Episode 5, my girl Ahsoka Tano comes in. Dave Filoni directs like he's never directed before. This episode screams Seven Samurai. It screams Kurosawa. I love it. He gives us the scenes time to sit and breathe. Oh my God, Ahsoka not wanting to train Grogu. We learn his name's Grogu. Ahsoka not wanting to train Grogu. By the way, spoiler alert. Not wanting to train Grogu is fantastic. It's beautiful. And I just, oh my gosh, seeing her in live action melted my little nerdy heart. Episode 6, Boba Fett is back. This is easily the best directed episode. Robert Rodriguez, he comes in. Boba Fett kicks ass like we always knew we could, but we never got to see it. Oh my gosh. There's a shot in this where he has the sand people stick. I don't know what it's called. And it's him behind the rock, and the camera moves to it, and it's handheld, and he bashes that stormtrooper in the face, and his face mask thing just shatters. The pieces go flying. It was beautiful. It's gorgeous. I love it. I need more of it. Thank you. Episode 7. Bill Burr returns. Oh my gosh. Mayfield, the bounty hunter. They break into Imperial's facility. Bill Burr can act. Breaks my heart. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Pow, pow, pow. Boba Fett drops the little thing, the bomb, and kills 2 fighters. You know the thing that goes from Attack of the Clones. Phenomenal. Episode 8. My lord. Death Troopers and Luke Skywalker. That scene where the Death Trooper grabs Mando and just punching him in the face, but because his face is made out of Beskar, it's not like denting, is beautiful. Luke Skywalker coming in was gorgeous, and you know what? I'll say it because they think they did it to retcon The Last Jedi. No, because I think it thematically fits beautifully into The Last Jedi. I'm losing my voice, so Duncan, please take it away.
Yeah, you got it. I didn't like it.
I can't tell if you're joking or not.
I enjoyed it. I loved.
No, Duncan, no.
I didn't like it.
You're going down a path I can't follow. Duncan, you're breaking my heart.
Frank, I want you to know, I watched every episode like the second it came out. I was like reading all of the fan theories. I was staying truly diligent through this whole thing. And I was constantly let down.
What?
This season, I can't help but compare it to season 1. And I think season 1 was so much better because it stayed true to itself. Season 2 of The Mandalorian does not feel like it's staying true to itself. It feels like it's a commercial because it feels like every character that shows up in each episode is doing like an audition for their own spin-off series. Like, and I think because of that, there's so much less focus being put on The Mandalorian, the guy I'm watching the show for. You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to see more of him. And like, that's why
I could see that.
Yeah.
But you're wrong.
My favorite episodes were 3 and 7. Okay. I really loved 3 because the Mandalorian his faith is immediately tested, right?
Yeah.
Like, he finally finds more Mandalorians and they're like, "Why are you keeping your helmet on, nerd?" And he's like, "What the fuck?" And that he has to like work with them to like take down that big ship. Like, I love that. That was a perfect episode for me. And then 7, I really loved because Bill Burr shows up and immediately starts questioning everything. He's like, "Yo, are we really the good guys? Because like I see starving children on this planet." And like the Mandalorian is immediately like tested because he has to like put on like the different suit and like he has to take his helmet off to like save who he loves. I love that episode because it challenges the character. And every other episode is the fucking Ahsoka show or the Cara Dune show or the Cobb Vanth episode. Like, like I love how these characters like
I thought Cobb Vanth worked really organically into
he
it.
did. That's I that one episode I dislike the least. Like I really do enjoy how they play off each other.
Yo, can I say that action, like the last 20 minutes when they changed the aspect ratio to full screen?
That
I'm a sucker
chef,
for that.
chef's kiss. I
I'm a
love that.
sucker for that.
I don't know. Like I understand how this show is like giving Star Wars fans everything they've ever asked for. Like it really is like delivering on like 1,000 promises. But if your end credits is just Boba Fett killing Bib Fortuna and then being like, all the Boba Fett shows coming out, and it just has no relation to the Mandalorian at all. I don't.
I gotta disagree with
It
you.
feels like a shareholders meeting, you
Oh
know?
no, Duncan. You're Duncan.
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm
gosh. You
sorry.
just extended this podcast 30 more minutes because now we gotta argue.
I got a doctor's appointment at 12, so I can't
Oh, the
do.
doctor, he's no.
All right, but like let me know what you think about that.
Oh my gosh. I just thought this season, I thought the pacing was great. I thought the pacing was great.
Uh-huh.
I wish they would have had it where like Mando was on it, like, because I feel like the one thing where I'm like, I feel like they wanted to have that really cool Luke Skywalker sequence, and I
Yeah.
wish they would have just said find Luke Skywalker, and then like the rest of the season could have been him looking for Luke, him
Yeah.
and Grogu. Like I thought that would have been kind of cool.
That
I
would've been-
disagree because I was nervous when I heard all these rumors like, oh, Ahsoka, Bo-Katan. I thought they fit into the story very well, especially because it's established that like the Mandalorians and the Jedi don't like each other. So I
Yeah.
really liked seeing Mando having to get over that with Ahsoka, and them having to join forces together. And I just, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I think this show is just phenomenal. I just think it's phenomenal.
I
And the
really
behind the
loved it
scenes
too.
document. Did you watch the behind the scenes documentary?
Not for season 2. I watched
Oh
it.
my God. George Lucas was on set when they filmed the Ahsoka episode, and that, as a fan, that melted my heart.
Aw.
But just seeing how they made it and how they like upped the technology for this season looks better than season 1.
Yes, it does look better. That's
It looks really good. That's not to say season 1 didn't look good. Season 1 looked phenomenal.
Can we
But
talk about something else I think this didn't do great on?
No, you've said enough. I think
Yeah. The dialogue.
I disagree.
You go back and watch any episode, the dialogue is sucking donkey ass.
I disagree.
So bad.
I disagree.
Literally
That
nothing
I will say
of
you're wrong.
value is said by anyone ever. Like they're just repeating buzzwords to each other. Like I want these characters to feel like characters, and they feel like
Oh my God!
like
Do you watch?
cardboard
This is like
cutouts of
this is
Star
the
Wars
crap you
characters.
pulled with Mission Impossible Fallout. This is the crap you pulled with that.
It's true
Okay.
though.
Do you know how much work? Like you think they said, you know what? Let's do bad dialogue.
Oh my
The
god.
dialogue's good. It works.
No, it's not. I rewatch any episode. And like pay attention to the dialogue. They don't speak like people.
I thought it worked well. I
I,
think you're just sour, Duncan.
what do I have to be sour about?
I don't know. I think you're just sour.
I was let down by this season. I was truly,
I was let down by your opinion of this season, so
that's fair.
I know the feeling.
One thing I do want to mention, I thought, because like the Mandalorian keeps saying, I gotta take him to his kind. Like he kept saying that like 50 times. I thought he meant like his species.
No, I think he meant like his kind, like the Jedi.
That's what it meant. But like I really thought this show was about finally figuring out like where that species comes from. Because that's like still one of the
That's like the one thing that they said they never want to reveal is the name of the species and where they come from.
that's why I thought this
That was
show
a big thing for George
That-
Lucas.
I thought that's what made this show unique. Like finally uncovering this big secret no one had any answers to.
But you don't need to know it.
You know you don't need to, but I thought the show would be like finally doing something new in Star Wars, but like
Oh my God, this show's
finding
done
a
so
Jedi.
much stuff that's new in Star Wars.
Is there any Star Wars movie that's not about finding a Jedi?
There's a ton.
That's not Rogue One.
Return of the Jedi.
Doesn't he have to
Revenge
go
of the
find
Sith.
Yoda? Go
He's not
find
trying to
Darth
find
Vader?
Yoda in return.
Yeah, it's all about finding people.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's about like going and finding other Jedi.
What do they have to find?
Doesn't Luke go back to find Yoda?
He knows where he is. He just goes back to see him. He doesn't have to find him. He's not going on exploration. He's not like, oh no, I forgot his address. You better poke around the planet for half an hour.
But you know what I mean, right? It's like, yeah, for this section of the movie, we're gonna go look for a Jedi. It's like,
okay, let's see. Let's go through the whole saga.
no, I don't have time for that.
They don't find anybody in Phantom Menace. They're not trying to find anybody. They stumble into someone, but they don't actively seek him out.
Uh-huh.
Attack of the Clones, I don't think they try to find anyone.
They go find Dooku.
No, they don't really go out. They don't seek out to find him, though.
Well, they chase him a bunch.
They chase him, but they're never like. He's not a Jedi.
All right, we're getting into semantics. You know what I mean.
I think you're wrong.
I wanted a Star Wars show that was removed from Jedis. I don't want to see any fucking Jedis anymore.
I don't think you're gonna see him anymore.
What do you mean? That like you really think the future of the Mandalorian, like just no Jedis ever?
Maybe like one here or there, but I don't think they're ever gonna be like. I don't think you're ever gonna have a main character Jedi. Maybe one pop in for an episode, but.
Well, now that you have all these spin-offs, when they do their Crisis on Infinite Earths thing, they're gonna have like the Jedi from the video game and the Jedi from Rebels and like everyone teaming up.
The Jedi from the video game.
Yeah, Cal Kestis or whatever.
Oh, I don't think he'll be in it. That'd be cool.
You know what I mean? It just feels like they're just trying to be like. I just wanted like an intimate show about like the Mandalorian and a baby, just like trying to find the baby's home, not like a Jedi teacher for him. You know, I thought it would be more.
Well, now it's going to be about him taking up the mantle as the leader of Mandalore.
Do you want that?
Yeah, I think that's really cool because I think because it's never really been the Mandalorian show. It's always been the Mandalorian and Grogu. So now I think it's going to be his show.
We'll see if that's smart.
And I'm excited to see his dynamic with Bo-Katan.
Really? What about that screams excitement to you?
Because she wants to be she was the leader of Mandalore. She lost the Darksaber to Gideon.
Uh-huh.
And she was supposed to take it back from him, but then Mando took it. So I think there's going to be some resentment there. I think she's going to have to learn to overpass that for the good of their people.
Okay. Wow, that sounds like a thrilling season.
And what I really want them to do, since they have Moff Gideon, I want him to be kind of like Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs, where they have him like imprisoned,
where they like
but he's
keep
still
him
like
around.
on the train.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that he'd be a really good Hannibal Lecter-esque character.
I thought it was cool that like Boba Fett stuck around to like be their driver, but then he literally didn't say anything and do anything. So it kind of let me down.
I thought it was cool just to have Boba Fett in there, which I get is what you're against, and I could see that. I liked it.
I have a Star Wars related question that I've been meaning to ask you ever since I saw this.
Yes.
So Moff Gideon had the Darksaber and he fought the Mandalorian. Mandalorian knocks his shit off and then takes the Darksaber. That means he owns it, right?
That means he owns that, which means he rules over Mandalore.
Right. But he doesn't want it. And Bo-Katan does.
Yeah.
So why doesn't he fist fight Bo-Katan for it? And then Bo-Katan can take it and win it? Like why does she have to kill him now?
So I don't know the exact rules, but I mean, in the episode, he even says, "I yield. Here, take it." Like as right. Like, let's just say we fought, just take the thing. And she's like, "I can't." And I think it's again like what Gideon's had to say, like this the saber has no power. It's the story that has the power.
But could they not just fist fight like they just did?
I don't know. It wouldn't be genuine though, you know?
I guess. Then why don't they just like do rock, paper, scissors? You know, like I don't, it felt like tension that came out of nowhere.
No, I get it. I think that this show is trying to like thematically, I keep saying thematically in this episode, and I feel really pretentious every time I say it. I feel like though thematically this show is trying to talk about like symbols in religion and government that we hold so dear that really could hurt us.
Interesting, yeah.
And so I think the dark saber kind of serves as that, like we have this whole story and legend behind it, but like we have rule like with the flag, we have rules with the flag. You're not supposed to let it touch the floor and stuff. And like I'm not saying anything about that because I don't want to get political, but like it's like someone as an outsider, if you've never known, you would probably question like why can't it touch the floor? Like it might not make sense to you, you know?
Yeah.
So I think as we dive more into the culture of the Mandalorians, we'll get into that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so too. And like
I
that would
really
be a
smart
cool
when I
thing to
said
look
that, and I
into.
don't even think it was that smart of a response.
I liked it.
Thank you, Duncan.
I really do. I mean, I'm obviously going to keep up with the show. I'm going to keep watching, but I'm not sure where season 3 could go that would make it feel like season 1 and 2 paid off, because season 1 and 2 is very episodic. Like
I think that's its own story, and I think now they're getting into a new story.
do you think that's why they did all the spinoffs to sort of like
What do you mean?
well, because obviously season 1 of 2 and 2 of Mandalorian is like the whole Grogu thing,
Yeah.
and now they're leaving that behind.
I think Grogu will come back for sure.
Well, obviously, yeah, they paid a lot for that puppet, so they're gonna use it. But like now that they're gonna start doing like politics of Mandalore, like, do you think they did a bunch of spin-offs in order to like keep people around in case nobody wants to see that?
Look, here's the thing with politics and Star Wars. That people have that you have to understand. People don't care if the stories are political. They really don't. Because you take something like The Last Jedi, people are mad about the way Luke was treated. That's really the only argument. People say that movie got political because they're trying to create an agenda. The Siege of Mandalore, that final arc of Clone Wars,
Yeah,
I'd argue that arc is way more heavy in political themes than anything in The Last Jedi. But
I
yeah,
think you'd be right. Yeah,
everybody loves that. Don't you find that a little bit funny?
a little bit hypocritical for sure.
Yeah.
And Star Wars has always been about politics. Like,
yeah. People are like, George Lucas never did that. I'm like, watch the prequels.
wars
Like,
are political. Like
yeah.
Star Wars, it's about politics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the reason people really like Clone Wars is because it took the politics and really like delved into them in a very interesting and unique way.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Anything else to say? I'm excited for the future of Star Wars. I can't wait for Bad Batch. That trailer they dropped looks sick.
I am tentatively hopeful.
I can't wait to go back to, they have the planet Zygeria, which was explored in Clone Wars. I can't wait to go back there. I hope they serve the like I think it's so cool that like we're getting a show about people that serve the Empire. Like I just think that's cool.
Yeah, it'll be a cool territory to go into.
Alrighty, well I think that's December.
Yeah. Wow. What a month
it was. I think this might be our longest podcast we've ever done.
Yeah, we've kind of
It felt kind of lengthy in a good way.
I'd agree. And it's always a pleasure talking to you about movies.
Always a pleasure talking to you, man. If you liked this this, be sure to slap that like button silly and maybe give a little tickle to that subscribe button.
Like-
and hey, while you're there, might as well hit that bell notification. That way you'll get notified every 3 months when we post a single episode.
Oh my God. Yeah, we're not terrific at this, are we?
You know, life happens, but it's okay.
So true. All right. Bye, everyone. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Adios.
Bye.